On the planet of Vegeta, Bardock, a Saiyan, had made the decision to send his son Kakarot to Earth, and because of this, he knew Frieza would intend to destroy the planet Vegeta. He'd also get to see one of his premonitions that Kakarot had a latent power, being so great as to even surprise his father. It's the decision made, Gine, because if we let Kakarot stay on this planet, sooner or later he'd end up dying, and because I know that Frieza will destroy us and discard us if he were worthless.
No, Bardock, this is hasty. Look, Kakarot can't even fend for himself. It'll be suicide to send him to another planet, even if he is a low-class Bardock.
Gine, trust me. Kakarot's going to become a powerful warrior of all the cosmos, and he carries this power inside him that I just can't even explain.
Okay, Bardock, I hope everything you say is right. I just don't understand anything that you're saying, but we'll become excellent parents for Kakarot.
The same night, Bardock would steal one of Frieza's ships, being able to program it to land on Earth. Son, survive. I want you to become the most powerful warrior in the entire galaxy. I hope that I can see you again, Kakarot. I trust you.
Oh, Kakarot, if your father has been confused in what he tells us, we promise that we'll find you, because for us, you're the most important thing in our life.
The ship would take off, heading towards Earth at a great speed. After 2 days, the entire surface of the planet Vegeta, a great ship of the Emperor of Evil would be seen and the gate would open.
Ho ho! It's time for an excellent artificial game! It won't hurt to blow up this planet, and it'll get rid of these dirty monkeys.
Frieza, with his fingertips, will create a supernova of energy, destroying planet Vegeta. Bardock, realizing this, would use his power to try to repel this attack, but Bardock's power wasn't enough to do something against the evil Emperor. Drawing a smile on Frieza's face, he'd watch as his tracker of hundreds of Saiyans would fade completely. In the kingdom of Zeno-Sama, a divine energy on the highest level would be bored. Seeing the universes, he'd notice how an object moving at a high speed through Universe 7, attracting attention of Zeno-Sama.
Daishinkan, come here! I got a request for you to do.
Daishinkan would appear in front of Zeno-Sama, exclaiming the following. Of course, my lord. What would you like for me to do? Daishinkan at that moment would create a great portal in the Kingdom of the Whole, being teleported to Universe 7, managing to stop the ship where Kakarot was going. But after looking at it, he'd realize there was a baby inside. Well, that's unfortunate. Apparently this little Saiyan baby was sent to a planet of this universe. But for you, my king, he asked for your presence in the Kingdom of All. Daishinkan would return to the Kingdom of Zeno-Sama and snap his fingers so Kakarot's ship would appear. The gate would open and Zeno-Sama would be surprised to see a baby.
Wow! If he's a little baby, he'll be the heir of the 12 universes! That'd be amazing! But he doesn't have the power for such a feat.
My lord, you just gave me a great idea. What if we take care of it and grow this baby so that he could become the most powerful warrior surpassing the gods? Daishinkan would look at him, realizing the power inside, since this power could be seen by a great silver flame, the power beyond the gods, and the power of the Ultra Instinct in its maximum splendor. This is unexpected. I'm sure this baby will be able to change the hierarchy of these 12 universes. Inside him is the power that surpasses the gods of destruction.
Wow! But Daishinkan, do you mean the power surpasses all the gods?
My lord, the state of Ultra Instinct is a doctrine, just like Ultra Ego, and they cannot be reached by training. In fact, the years of training, it makes it least able to achieve them for brief moments.
So that means this baby here has to activate it for a few moments according to what you just said, right?
On the other hand, of course. But I gotta confess, that little baby's not able to access this state for brief moments. Instead, it lies the complete doctrine of the Ultra Instinct, as if his destiny were to be privileged by the gods.
Wow, this is amazing! He might be able to be the new ruler of the universes! I don't see his name on the ship.
Indeed. It seems his parents weren't able to give him a name on this little ship, but we could give him one.
You're right! It's gonna be Goku! I don't know why, but I like that name. And from now on, you're Goku, king of all.
Daishinkan would give a big smile and watch Zeno-Sama as he held Goku. Apparently this will be a great journey, since that baby will even change the genius of Zeno-Sama. Oh, interesting. After a few clashes of blows could be seen throughout the kingdom of Zeno-Sama, a few years passed, and Goku achieved Super Saiyan in its variants of Super Saiyan 3.
Thanks for my training, Daishinkan. I feel I can become more powerful. I appreciate it, but my limit, since I have another transformation, I guess it's Super Saiyan 3 is the limit.
It's my pleasure to inform you that it's not your limit, Goku. Speaking of mortal energy, he still has one more transformation to achieve, and the divine energy 2 of the transformations, leaving aside the Ultra Instinct.
Wow, I can't believe I have all this power. I know I'm going to overcome my limits. Let's keep training.
I agree, Goku, but for the next transformation, we require your tail. It's a primitive state of the Ozarus in the state of more destructive power. Daishinkan, with his power creation, would restore Goku's tail, and due to this, Daishinkan would realize one of the planets has become the intensity of a full moon. That planet's perfect for simulating the moon. This time I gotta make Goku focus on that planet to achieve this transformation. Goku would see the moon with great concentration. Nothing happened for the first few minutes, but after 5, Goku's body would have a great transformation, and an Ozaru would be formed through the kingdom of Zeno-Sama, leaving everyone surprised.
Wow, that's amazing! I can't believe Goku could transform like that. His power's still growing greatly.
Indeed. If we succeed in this change, Goku can change to the powerful Super Saiyan 4 and be able to start with divine training, as he manages to master the Ultra Instinct to the max level. Goku would finish his transformation, and he'd lost his mind, starting to destroy everything. That precise moment, Daishinkan would stand in front of Goku. With my Supreme Guardian Angel power, I grant you the power of total control. Total control with the technique exclusively of Daishinkan allowed him to reach this technique, mastering his power. It didn't matter whether it was negative or ultimate, he would have controlled the energy state, and thanks to this, Goku's Ozaru would manage to regain consciousness, shrinking his body. And his power would continue to greatly increase with the power of the Ozaru concentrating on a smaller body. This power, after a few moments, would explode, and Goku would see his power of the Super Saiyan 4 lighting up bolts with entirely releasing his body.
Super Saiyan 4, it's amazing! I know it can surpass the Super Saiyan 3 dozens of times. I feel invincible!
It's great, but it still has limits below the God of Destruction. This energy is of divine origin, and it's much more powerful and dangerous for a being who still doesn't get such energy. The new training of Goku would begin, this time mastering the power of Super Saiyan 4 with the intention of not wasting energy. And 8 more years later, Goku would be a teenager, and he'd achieve Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. In achieving these variables of divine state, each variable dominates all his power. Thanks to this, he doesn't have any energy waste.
Heh, I really appreciate it, Daishinkan. I've been training in this state for days. I want to be the protector of the universe and stop any evil energy. I don't want to let anything or anyone endanger the multiverse.
I wanted you to let me see this power you're talking about, because I'm curious. I think I know what you're talking about because this power inside you was there from birth.
Heh, I remember when Goku arrived on our planet. That day seems like it was just yesterday. Several years have passed already.
Goku would immediately close his eyes, concentrating, and with his eyes closed, a great heat would be released. And this heat would be recognized by Daishinkan, giving him a smile. I knew it was the Ultra Instinct. I gotta confess, it surprises me he's able to access this state which he was born with. In this state, even the gods are complex to access.
Wow, the power of Goku's radiating amazing. This power of the Saiyan, a warrior to rise among the gods, angels, and kings.
Goku would open his eyes and change to a silver color, since his gaze was that of power. And despite that, he would be able to access the perfect Ultra Instinct, managing 60% of it, and achieving a feat no god had achieved. So what do you think, Daishinkan? I've been trying to perfect this power. I don't understand it, but from what you say, it's I've been blessed with. You're right. You've been managed to be born with the Ultra Instinct, and you gotta achieve it. It's a feat that's difficult to break.
Thanks, Daishinkan. I hope I can master it, so I can be prepared to protect this multiverse.
I agree, Goku, and we'll start with the real training, since he's been able to access the Ultra Instinct. And without saying anything, Daishinkan would give him a big blow, and the Ultra Instinct Goku was dodging that blow and take some distance.
Wow, I didn't know it, but I could dodge one of your punches. This new training is gonna be interesting. Wow, I didn't think that Daishinkan fighting Goku. That's amazing. I want to see Goku improve over these next few years.
And this battle between teacher and student would begin. Daishinkan always maintained advantage, but would be surprised by the battle progressing. Goku's body would be adapt. Since even the state of the Ultra Instinct on this occasion was 65%, if the 5% seemed little, being able to master 5% of the Ultra Instinct while fighting with great feat that not many warriors could achieve. Alright Goku, you can achieve this new hierarchy. You've been alive for millions of years. I'm not able to adapt on the battlefield, and so the genetics of the Saiyan. All this would pass through Daishinkan's mind, dodging Goku's punches. Goku would try to pounce once again against Daishinkan, and would fall to the ground with energy rays coming out of his body as he screams.
Daishinkan, what's wrong with Goku? I was able to see that you didn't give him power punches. What's wrong?
My lord, there's nothing to worry about. It's normal. Goku's pushed his body past the limit, and his muscles are torn, and to activate the Ultra Instinct for the first time. Daishinkan with power would be able to heal his wounds and leave him resting for a few days.
Daishinkan, I want Goku to return to his universe and be able to supervise all the other universes the same way. I'm sure there's something we don't know.
Alright, my lord, as soon as he wakes up, I'll inform him of the mission you have for him, so it won't be trusted as it's his weak point. 3 days passed in which Goku would recover, and his mind training that Daishinkan had given him. While this time, Goku looked more serious, knowing that he would face real dangers. Goku at a great speed would leave for the 12 universes. He would leave for Universe 7 because Daishinkan told him his origin, and Goku belonged to the planet Vegeta, being one of the most powerful races of the 12 universes. As far as I know, a cold demon was able to destroy my planet and my parents. I want to check out how much power he's got and test the power of mortals. Goku would concentrate, being able to see the energy of the cold demon on the planet Earth, because Goku, with his incredible speed, would leave, reaching Earth in a few minutes. Realizing that a large army was in place, destroying everything, he would arrive in front of the army of the great Frieza.
Frieza, you better get out!
I've come to you personally and I want to check your strength. Get out! The soldiers present rushed Goku, and due to the offense which he had addressed Frieza, Goku in a few moments would finish the soldiers attacking him. So Frieza would step out of ship surprised because of this, and his entire ship would open, leaving Frieza.
Oh, I'm surprised that beings of this insignificant planet can know the name of Frieza. But that's great, because that shows the power I have.
Ha! You're wrong! I know your name and I've researched everything about you. You destroyed my own planet. I'm a Saiyan. Frieza would stare at him, realizing he was identical to the warrior who refused to give up until the end of the explosion of the planet.
But if you're identical to that warrior who refused to die, you must be his son. If your father was a fly, I shouldn't expect his son to have so much power.
Goku's veins would be exalted, and due to the lack of respect for his father, Goku would move incredibly, giving a slight blow to Frieza's stomach. Frieza, it was an extremely powerful blow, and he would fall to the ground vomiting blood. Even his soldiers were amazed, but by the power of that subject in front of him, he had demonstrated. From what I've seen, you cold demons have several transformations. You better get to the last form, or I'll end you in the next move with your pathetic existence. Frieza stood up, and he would give a big smile.
I must confess that blow you gave me was incredible. I pity you, that I possess immortality no matter how powerful you are.
Frieza was smiling like a maniac. Goku's smile would be drawn on his face. You think there's no way to end the life of an immortal? Let me tell you that you're wrong. There's multiple ways for you to beat yourself. Frieza had a chill over his body and would access his final form, causing destruction on Earth. And despite the verge of destruction, it would be restored because the Saiyan God was in the place. The inhabitants of this planet have nothing to do with what happened. You're under my protection. You have nothing to fear. Frieza would accumulate his transformation, pouncing on Goku. And despite his efforts, he couldn't hit him once because the perfect Ultra Instinct was more than enough to face Frieza, and he was using his energy of a god, which would be felt by the deities of Universe 7. Hey, Whis. You feel that? I'm sure it's the energy of a god, but there's something different about it. Makes me feel nervous. You are correct, Mr. Beerus. It's similar to the Ultra Instinct, and that energy of the god feels different. You have combined it with a state that surpasses the energy of gods. Whis, I don't know what planet that guy's from, but I want to check out his power. I've trained for 15 years and I want to fight someone other than you.
Oh, it seems that to me, Mr. Beerus, you want to fight someone who possesses energy beyond the god, and that will be perfect training for you. Both deities went to the planet Earth, and returning to the battle, Goku, in this battle, would only focus on dodging each of Frieza's blows without connecting a single blow, and Frieza would take some distance, mocking way to show him the following. It doesn't matter the speed you have. You're not doing anything but running away from me. You won't even be able to connect any hits. You're a pathetic Saiyan. You're completely confused, Frieza. The fact I wasn't able to connect my punches is because I didn't intend to hit you. I would have ended this battle from the first move. Don't say something stupid. I'm the Emperor of Evil. And right now, I've been able to take immortality. You don't possess the power to kill me. I'm tired of listening to your invalid arguments. I'm gonna take your good-for-nothing Emperor to come and die. Goku, with a quick movement, would place his hand on his forehead, leaving him immobilized, and introducing divine energy. That divine energy I've given you is inside you, and for greater agony, I'm gonna use a technique specifically for the gods. Frieza, in writhing pain from the energy that was injected from Goku's hand in front of him. From creation comes destruction. Die! Destroy! Frieza's body was beginning to turn into dust, leaving nothing of the evil Emperor. The other soldiers, seeing the evil Emperor being defeated without even a slight effort, fled. However, Goku, with a small sphere of energy, would destroy the entire Emperor's ship, and with it, the life of his subordinates that came to an end. Well, the power of the blessed evil Emperor was nothing more than a Palvir who didn't have any of the authentic power. Goku would rise in the atmosphere of the planet, seeing how the power of the deities of the universe were approaching at a great speed where he was. Well, so without me having to look for you, you came to me. That's interesting. I'm planning to test your powers, angel and god. Goku, with speed greater than the angel, was starting to head towards where the deities were, and would notice that a being with great speed was approaching. And with this, he would stop, which would annoy Beerus. Hey Wes, don't do that. My head hurts too much. But Beerus wouldn't hear an answer because he felt as a very tension around him changed, realizing that a being was in front of them. Who the hell are you? So you're the one who put yourself out in the way. You had to stop that abruptly, huh? Ha! You guys know who I am. I've saved you a big leg of the trip. The question is, why did he want to go to my planet Earth to see me? Mr. Beerus, the warrior is the one who has the divine energy, equal parts of the Ultra Instinct, but I'm surprised that you could sense our energies from getting there first, since his speed is higher than mine. That's impressive. After all, you're just a mortal with some skill, since possessing divine energy doesn't make you invincible. Beerus, while saying this, would appear on Goku's back, trying to connect a big blow, and to his surprise, Goku, with a quick movement, dodged it, holding by the neck the great brutality while slowly suffocating him. You better not trust yourself. The next one won't be a warning. Next time, I won't let you free, and I'm gonna finish you without hesitation. Goku would release Beerus, and instantly Beerus would take a little air, but furious, and with power rushed Goku. Goku, with great agility, dodged those blows, and on this occasion, Goku's instincts were superior to Beerus. And with a quick movement, he would create a great sword of energy, being able to cross Beerus, and with the help of his baculum, he intervened in the battle, saving Beerus. I'm not able to understand the dexterity of that Saiyan, since no other specimen of his species could reach those levels. That did surprise me. I didn't think so much of a difference of a god and a guardian angel, but that'll only make it more fun. I want to check the power of an angel and a god fighting together. Ho! I must admit that he has great power, and that he's able to overshadow a god or most common god. Since Lord Beerus is the most powerful god, he hid his true power. In this case, he's able to defeat him, but you haven't reached the power required to face an angel. You better go. Without Whis and Beerus being able to do something, both were hit by an incredible speed, sent flying to the planet, destroying everything. And Goku, at a great divinity, would begin to approach the planet, and everything around him collapsed due to his pressure. What's happened? What hit me? I understand I managed to hit Mr. Beerus, but I possess the ultra-perfect instinct. This is just simple luck. Ha! You think the hit I hit you with was luck? Don't say something stupid. If I feel like it, I can hit you again without any effort. If you want to try that again, I'll get more serious and be able to make you realize that you're just an ordinary warrior.
Whis, despite putting himself on guard, couldn't see the instant where Goku stood in front of him while his hand was touching his chin. I told you it wasn't luck. My power is able to crush you completely. I hope that's not all your power. You would disappoint me. Mr. Beerus, apparently we will have to team up. The power of this guy is able to demonstrate is amazing. I can realize that, but how do we beat him? His power is something overshadowing us. We can't even see him move. Don't worry, as far as I can see, the Saiyan doesn't master the power of the Ultra Instinct completely, and that only means he can access the Ultra Defense or Offensive Instinct. We have to find out which. I understand. Count on me. I won't let this Saiyan be able to humiliate me shamefully. Both deities at a great speed would try a few different blows, and despite their speed, the movements were insignificant to Goku. He was just a simple child next to them, and Goku would take distance staring at him. Well, the power of those deities, the universe is nothing but just hoaxes. They can't do anything against me. Meanwhile, in the Zeno-Sama palace, everyone was watching what was happening. Definitely the gods and angels required of high training. Since the power of the Goku is not so relevant, even Whis was humiliated. You are correct, Daishinkan. We have to prepare the gods and angels because if war happens like 500 million years ago, we will be lost.
You're right. Daishinkan, when Goku is able to inspect all the universes, please inform the training of the deities. We have to be prepared.
Luckily, great Zeno-Sama, as you order. On the battlefield, Goku would humiliate Whis and Beerus, not letting him do anything, and he would be able to leave for another universe. Goku would increase his power by accessing perfect Ultra Instinct, and a large golden sword of energy would be slowed down noticeably, granting Goku the time to save the deities who were completely surprised to learn they were rescued by his enemy. I don't know who you are, but apparently you're even more powerful than the supposed deities of this universe. You better show yourself. From a big cocoon of shadows, a warrior would stand in front of Goku. To his surprise, this warrior even had a tail which was evident. He was a Saiyan just like Goku. I've been waiting for this moment for millions of years. You're the chosen one from the premonition I had. A Saiyan warrior born with the Ultra Instinct and trained by the deities of Zeno-Sama's palace. What? How do you know I was raised by Daishinkan and Zeno-Sama? No one knows that. I want you to confess how you know. I have the ability to see the future millions of years ago. I was able to raise this premonition, and I have the most interesting battle with his Saiyan who would be raised in Zeno-Sama's palace. So you know I was waiting for this moment for so long. Whis and Beerus was surprised to learn the Saiyan in front of them was raised by the powerful deities of the 12 universes. So you want to fight? We can check our powers, but you don't have to hurt others. This is just between you and me. Akumo would get on the battlefield, leaving the deities of Universe 7 surprised. The presence of the god Akumo was lost hundreds of thousands of years ago, and the divine energy had left Akumo for dead. This is incredible! I can't believe this Saiyan in front of us was raised by my father and the great Zeno-Sama. How is it possible that even the powerful god Akumo, about whom nothing is known for thousands of years, appears again for this warrior? I don't have the slightest idea what's happening, but if it hadn't been for his help, we would have died by the pressure of Akumo. Whis would try to communicate with his father. Everything around him would be covered by a large dome of negative energy, making it impossible for him to communicate with Zeno-Sama in the realm. It is impossible for me to communicate with my father. Akumo's been able to seal the entire Universe 7 entirely. I'm not able to communicate. Apparently, everything's in the hands of that guy. He is able to demonstrate great power. I don't know if he has the required power to face Akumo. Millions of years ago, on a planet on the verge of destruction, two warriors faced each other. One of them with multiple wounds with red hair moved by the wind. Akumo, please come to your senses. No warrior more powerful than me is able to appear. Forget that damn dream of wanting to fight someone more powerful. You are completely wrong, Shallot, because with our learning ability, we can compare ourselves to the power of the gods themselves. Akumo, we can't even be capable of defeating the gods of destruction, much less we're able to defeat the beings above them. This is suicide. Don't worry, Shallot. You've used all your power with the intention of stopping me. But that's not useful to you. Your power is not surpassed by mine thousands of times, and you can leave me alone. I've been able to visualize the warrior of my premonition. Shallot was trying to make Akumo think. He was able to have a premonition in which the warrior would be raised by the most powerful beings, and would be enough to face him. Shallot, you better get off this planet. It's not long before it explodes, and I won't plan to cause any more problems.
No, Akumo! The first Saiyans to become gods, I haven't planned to let you die in this place. Come with me, let's keep training!
1,000 years. All that captivity. You apparently are the chosen one, and I feel like a great power lies inside you.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. Apparently you're an ancient Saiyan that gives me more intrigue about your capacity of your power.
Akumo quickly would graze Goku, and thanks to the Ultra Instinct, he was able to dodge that attack. Both exchanged hundreds of blows, but despite this, they were equal. Akumo would increase his power while exchanging blows, and Goku would realize at this moment, despite having Ultra Instinct, Akumo would connect a big blow to his stomach, causing him to spit out blood and fall to the ground in front of him. Well, even though you got the highest training of all the beings of the gods, you're not able to cope with me. I haven't even transformed. The deities were surprised to learn that Akumo could transform, while Goku would stand up more determined.
Apparently, I have to use the power beyond Ultra Instinct, a power I planned only with Daishinkan. I don't see any alternatives giving you battle.
Ha! I knew you had more power. Use more, because when I start my onslaught, I won't give you this opportunity again. Goku would clench his fist with power, and his aura would rise, letting the Universe 7 shudder. His power grew amazingly, leaving Whis and Beerus surprised, and the barrier that Goku created would be subdued by the pressure of the Saiyans. Hey Whis, we definitely have to be able to stand up to that Saiyan. His power surpasses the Guardian Angels.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus. I never thought that a Saiyan would reach these levels. It's an overwhelming power.
Goku would rise incredibly, but Akumo's expression didn't change. His expression was confident. After a few minutes, Goku would access Ultra Instinct Phase 3, and the power capable of crackling everything around him. Goku would return to observe Akumo.
I gotta confess, I was given a mission to supervise the universes, including the power of the deities. They weren't supposed to have the strongest peak of the scale in their universes. I never thought to use this power in the universes. I was given to investigate. You surprised me.
Ha ha! You using that transformation makes me feel flattered, but Goku, despite reaching his most powerful state, couldn't dodge a powerful onslaught of Akumo, and that would hold him by his head, colliding with planets, destroying them. This power demonstrated was crazy to compare to Goku's. Goku this time wasn't able to see a movement, and Akumo would fly him towards a planet with a huge blow, destroying mountains in his path. Well, apparently that power you brag about's not a big deal. The power that really matters is true power, and that's why I have a little more of mine, and apparently it's just too big for you. Goku would try to stand but couldn't. The damage caused was another level, and Goku would spit out blood, turning to see everything blurred.
Damn, I'm supposed to be one of the powerful warriors, only below Daishinkan and Zeno-Sama. This guy mocks my power, and his power is immense. I can't understand it.
Goku would try to stand, but his legs were wobbling. Taking the big beating of Akumo, he would stare at him. I must give you credit for the power you got. Despite only 23 years of life, you have that of an angel and a god, but they don't compare to your power despite the training of millions of years. On the other hand, I am surprised that your power is so poor since you were supposed to be under the tutelage of the most powerful deities.
Damn worm, don't make fun of me, as a kid still fight.
Goku would try, but something against Akumo would be in vain, and this power was abysmal. Due to the blows that Akumo had connected with him, Goku's power would decrease, and his power that he relieved was from blows more normal, falling to the ground.
No, damn it! How can I, a warrior born with this power beyond the gods, be humiliated? I can't allow this!
Goku, using his power, lashed out against Akumo with a powerful technique, the Dragon God Destroyer. A huge dragon was starting to head towards Akumo, and to everyone's surprise, Akumo, stretching out one of his hands, was able to stop him, causing an explosion over the place. You better train more. Next time we meet, I want you to give me a real battle. This is just a warm-up. Akumo was able to knock him out of combat, causing Goku to go to his base state, looking at the deities of Universe 7. I want his wounds healed. And even though they'll do it, I'm sure Daishinkan takes too much care of this Saiyan. I'm gonna retire for the time being. Akumo would disappear, and the dome of negative energy was dissipated. With Goku, with the intention of healing him, the beings of Zeno-Sama's palace arrived.
Goku, what happened? Were Whis bears responsible for this?
No, it's impossible for the deities of Universe 7 to leave Goku in this condition. His power to be able to fight the angels and gods weren't receiving damage. A warrior that resembles my power, even Zeno-Sama, was responsible.
You're right, Father. Apparently Goku-sama was testing us. Even though we fought together with Beerus, we couldn't do anything.
Akumo-sama is the one responsible.
Daishinkan's face would change to a cold, tense expression.
What do you mean, Whis? It's impossible. That Saiyan disappeared millions of years ago. He can't exist. He belonged to the universe eliminated by Zeno-Sama.
Father, for that astonishment, it is possible that his existence came. But his power decreased and continued to increase even the more, defeating Goku.
Daishinkan, from what I hear, Akumo named Goku that was trained by the deities in that palace. It was astonishing to me since Akumo claimed to have these premonitions. If what you're telling me is right, Son Goku's the god of a legend, and that confines the 18 million universes years ago. It's said that a powerful warrior would put an end to Akumo's power.
For that reason, I want to eliminate 6 universes of more power, and their inhabitants were corrupted by excessive thirst for power, none more than anything good. Akumo's been able to return with much more power.
Daishinkan with his great power would heal Goku, and he'd wake up, body hurting.
Where am I? What happened to Akumo?
Well, after everything Whis and Beerus informed me is true, apparently we have to prepare for a huge battle coming.
On an inhospitable planet of the 12 universes, Akumo was meditating with a huge smile on his face.
I know you can't hear me, but shall I tell you? My clairvoyance power doesn't fail. That warrior is the chosen one to quench my power.
Akumo would immediately expel great power by accessing the original form of the legendary Super Saiyan God, everything being destroyed around him.
I'm sure that Saiyan could force me to use the original Super Saiyan form, and force me to use the Ultra Instinct.
Zeno-Sama's palace and the deities with Goku returned. The entire journey, Goku was more serious than usual, something that he wasn't normally.
Goku, what's wrong? I understand Akumo's power knocked you out, but don't worry, I'm sure you can overcome him. Akumo's been training for millions of years, unlike you.
I know, but I humiliated myself, and I just can't get out of my head. I've never been humiliated like that. I have to become more powerful. I'm not gonna leave like this. I have to become much more powerful.
Goku, don't worry. I know what's more is right now we can start training, and it'll be beyond a priest.
I appreciate it. This time I'm gonna train on my own. I won't be with you, and I have to fend for myself. Goku, don't be hard on yourself. Daishinkan said Akumo's been training for millions of years, and he has all that power because of it. You'll be more powerful after 3 years of training.
On the planet Beerus, deities were walking, and they weren't able to understand the deities of the 12 universes being able to raise a Saiyan baby. Hey Wes, I don't get it. In fact, it's just something interesting to me. I don't understand how Zeno-Sama Daishinkan could raise a Saiyan and have to get power on such incredible feats.
I do agree, but apparently that Saiyan is a prodigy. Doesn't matter how good his mentor is. If his ability on the battlefield is 0, it won't matter. His power can't be increased that way.
That means the Saiyan of the deities was trained by a prodigy since he was able to humiliate us entirely. But if that Saiyan's able to humiliate us, I don't want to imagine what he'd be able to do to Akumo.
Would be able to end our lives without realizing.
Zeno-Sama realizing Goku in a meditation pose, the power beyond an Ultra Instinct was asleep in his body and due to awaken. And because of this humiliation, Goku would open his eyes, releasing an incredible power, managing to make the 12 universes shudder with an incredible power released from his body after a few marks appeared on his body.
An amazing power was released over Goku's body. That power was that over a high priest, and the Saiyan being humiliated preferred death. Goku would manage to channel that frustration and turn it into power, and at this moment, every one of the 12 universes would wobble due to the power released by his body. I'll finish that bastard! I can't believe you humiliated me like this! A Saiyan knows to prefer death over being humiliated.
Goku, without control, would release a great power. Through the palace of Zeno-Sama, due to the increase of powers, the deities on guard of the kingdom of Zeno-Sama would come, noticing Goku changed. The amazement of Zeno-Sama was known, because multiple marks were on his clothes and Goku was able to carry them on his body.
I can't believe it! Goku's able to access his status compared to the king of the whole, or even a being of the creation of energy, since those marks on the Omni marks are known as the celestial mark.
Heavenly marks, my lord? I've never heard of such a thing. Do you possess such heavenly marks? Or what is all this power due to?
I only have one, and I gotta admit, it's one of the most powerful marks, since this one is formed in the center of your head, that is the flow of energy.
I understand, so our Goku has able to access the power even capable of that of the great Zeno-Sama. This is amazing. A silver light, just like a few rocks, would rise over the place, and it was possible to see Goku's new appearance. His gaze changed drastically, and the power that ran through his body was crazy, and the 12 universes continued to have great pressure. Goku could keep control. If this continues to raise in a drastic way, his body can't keep it in.
No, Daishinkan, let him release his power. Even I, whom not a Saiyan, can feel humiliated. Let him release it, so that he can have a lower energy load.
I understand. I'll let you release your power. But if you continue with that rhythm, your body might even explode. Goku's voice would interrupt their conversation.
Daishinkan, I appreciate your concern, but don't worry. I feel this great power running through me. I know my body won't be able to withstand it. I have the risk of exploding into 1,000 pieces.
So he's under control. I was worried.
Hey, don't worry, Daishinkan. I gotta confess, if I'm upset with humiliation thanks to Akumo, I'm sure that this power I have is more powerful, and I can master it. Although I gotta confess it won't be easy, this power's beyond a high priest. Even that power of creation's not easy. You'll have to adhere to a rigorous training in order to master it. Heh, I know, and I'm counting on you. I want to master this power a little at a time to achieve this transformation at will.
Goku in his new transformation of the Super Saiyan God Omni would channel all this power, and with the intention of being able to access this state in the future, after a few hours of meditating, Goku would stand and hundreds of rays would be seen through the palace of Zeno-Sama.
What are these? Where are they from?
Before he could finish his sentence, hundreds of rays of purple would be released over his body, and multiple cries of pain were heard through the kingdom because the deities would come out to see what was happening, realizing the power beyond a high priest had a great price. As far as I could see, in this short period of time, the power beyond a god, angel, and priest, and even king at all, is able to have a price paid for this time in his body to endure that new power. The screams of Goku would stop, and Goku would fall to the ground out of combat. On a distant planet, Akumo was meditating, and he had a look of joy. After millions of years, I finally found a warrior able to give me a legendary battle. I will always be right, Charlotte. I want you to become more powerful than Goku. Show me the power of your limits. On the planet of Beerus, an angel and god of destruction would go under rigorous training to become more powerful. Despite the most powerful god of the 12 universes, I was humiliated. I can't allow this. I'm going to become training in the most difficult way of my life, with the intention of overcoming my limits. I'm also training to be the most powerful angel of all. Only below Daishinkan, I was humiliated. I cannot accept this. I will surpass my limits of an ordinary angel, and affirm I will reach the same level as Daishinkan-sama. The training of both deities began, and in the kingdom of Zeno-Sama, a few days passed. In this time, a dark energy warrior was stalking the 12 universes. With his power so powerful, none present could realize his full power. This is very interesting. Me, a demon of the ancient times, I've never heard of raising a mere mortal in the hands of the most powerful beings of the universe. Because of this, they would have finished with this brat. A new warrior proclaimed himself a demon. As observed by everything, for millions of years, he was much older than Daishinkan and Zeno-Sama. These guys call themselves authorities of the 12 universes. That's nothing more than a hoax. This guy named Akumo is more powerful than them, and I'll give them a visit. I'm gonna fight with their supposed psychic. Yoruma had amazing speed to go through the 12 universes, and Akumo was meditating on his planet. After a few seconds, everything around him would change, and presence would slightly fall in his body, which would open his eyes, releasing pressure, and due to this, he was neutralized, while in the shadows, a new warrior could be seen. I don't know who the hell you are, but if you've got guts to come to where I am, I'll give you a chance. Get out of here on 3 or I won't end your life. Ha ha! Very arrogant words for a being not able to do anything against me. I accept. I want you to try to end my life. Ha! Don't make me laugh. Even the highest level beings respect me. And with that, you're not even part of the gods. I'm able to treat you like my punching bag. What do you think we check it out? Are you afraid? Akumo's expression would change and approach his opponent. They were face to face and he would release his power with the intention of intimidating him. But the subject released more power, and his aura was that of a hellish demon, leaving Akumo paralyzed. Oh well, I didn't expect this. I didn't think you had enough power to see my aura materialize. But now that you can see it, do you think you're capable of doing something against me? I gotta confess that you've surprised me in that aura. But don't think you can intimidate me with that aura. At this moment, I'll show you the power that you can't even overcome. Pay attention! Akumo, without trusting himself slightly, would begin to access all of his power. Akumo's hair would turn silver, and that pressure released would be far from the 12 universes, a pressure not perceived by anyone in Zeno-Sama's palace. Akumo, at the end of releasing his great power, without holding back, would lash out against him, a fist a few centimeters from hitting his great infernal aura, was able to move at will, stopping his punch while Yoruma was staring at him. It's a pity you can't hit yourself. I gotta admit that that blow had connected with me. It wouldn't have been able to cause me even the slightest damage. Akumo was surprised by that aura that stopped his blow, and he would retreat. It would be impossible for him, that aura neutralized him. Just as I didn't move from this place, I hope you don't move from yours. I'm planning to make you try one of my direct hits. Yoruma would execute a slight blow. Despite looking weak, it would be powerful enough to send him flying to another planet, vomiting large amounts of blood. No hell, how could you do that damage to me? How the hell can you do that? I'm not even able to understand your strength limit. Akumo would notice on the planet had been crashed as the beginning to destroy itself, and Yoruma's aura would spread over the place. You're the most powerful pillar of the universe. I hope that's not all your power, otherwise you disappointed me. Akumo would stand out spitting up blood. I really have to use everything on you, but what would be annoying is that your aura you possess. It's a pity that I'll still be able to free my spiritual soul. Spiritual soul? The hell is that? What am I using as my own aura? Although of course I'm not going to waste time trying to explain that to you. You're so weak you can't even understand techniques at the highest level. Ha! What do you think if you attack me again? I'm gonna plan to use all my techniques since I could tell you're coming to try to end my life. Yoruma pounced against Akumo while his aura similarly began to execute hundreds of blows on his body. And in that place, an Ozora could be seen with a roar pushing Yoruma's aura while Akumo held tightly to Yoruma. I plan to return to the blow you gave me. You gotta be lucky that I'm benevolent. I have not left you completely immobilized. Before Yoruma answered, Akumo would land a huge blow on his stomach, sending him flying, destroying the mountains. I gotta leave here. If I use all my techniques, I can't beat him. It makes me angry to admit, but this guy's power's higher than mine. Akumo would try to leave the place and realize the planet they were on was sealed by a dark energy. Since you're able to release that power, I knew you'd try to leave instead of facing me, and for that reason I sealed the planet. Damn it. Last thing I need is help. But I know that miserable guy has unlimited energy reserves, and I have no alternative. Akumo would concentrate establishing a mental connection with Goku. Goku, I know you must be upset by the humiliation I granted you, but I don't end you. I need your help. The entire Divine Kingdom, this highly evil being appeared trying to destroy the 12 universes. But if you're Akumo, what happened? I just woke up not long ago, and I can't believe you're telling me this. Your power is incredible. It's hard for me to believe a being has managed to overcome you. It's not time, Goku. I need your help. This guy could end my life. I'm sure the next one on your list will be the whole kingdom of Zeno-Sama. The connection would be interrupted because Yoruma would start his attack, and the two auras would start a great battle. Hand-to-hand combat with Akumo, despite being an expert, became to overcome, as well as the blows of his opponent were much more devastating, making Akumo's power decrease slowly, and his energy aura would lose ground against Yoruma's aura. Damn it, this guy has combat progress. He's able to corner me, and his combat continues like this, I'm gonna have a hard time admitting it. I'll be defeated. What's going on, Akumo? I thought you had more confidence in your power. After all, if it was a mere mortal who was fortunate enough to have some divine power, you'd be able to trash others. Akumo at this moment couldn't do anything against Yoruma, starting to get his beating. And in the last blow, Zeno-Sama's combat form would appear at Akumo's side, stopping the blow, while Goku with the other gods and angels would arrive on the battlefield. Heh, what you got here, Akumo? Although we have a pending battle, Daishinkan, heal all his wounds, we need his power. Goku at the moment, with a serious look, was beginning to access the state of God Omni. An incredible power was beginning to release. This time it was extremely incredible power, which surprised Akumo, since it was unreal that a being to achieve this power in a few days and had not counted that Goku remained out of combat. How is Son Goku able to achieve this power? It's incredible. And even for me, those levels take months. Goku's powers would rise, but something left Yoruma amazed. The marks on his bodies were beginning to obtain because Yoruma belonged to a much more advanced multiverse. His knowledge of the Omni power was higher. You have the warrior of this multiverse been able to access the Omni marks? Ha! That's madness. Even I belong to a much better multiverse, having managed to receive those. Omni brands, I've never heard of such power. Apparently it's far beyond the power I possess, and if so, how could he get it? Daishinkan, with his angelic power, was managing to heal all the wounds that he was caused on Akumo's body, and thanks to this he would manage to have a great increase in power. So he began to approach where Goku was, and it was impossible to extort his power to make him retreat a few meters over the battlefield. I definitely not thought that the Saiyan like him would be able to reach such limits. It's something that makes me proud. We Saiyan gods have been able to compare ourselves to the beings of the highest energy rank. I agree with you, Akumo. I'm surprised that even the little Saiyan was able to completely change my mindset about all of you. Since being a warrior race, I always thought that you always had the mind to end the 18 universes. I'm sorry, Daishinkan. In the beginning like that, I didn't know what moment our ideals were to change. Rather, my personal ideals, because thanks to that, we were able to improve as warriors. Instantly, the conversation of both would be interrupted by a great roar from Goku, because on this occasion, Goku would release his power, making everything around him destroyed while all of the God Omni could be observed. I'm ready. Sorry for the wait, but I'm not able to master all this power yet. I don't know about the hell you've been feeling this omnipotent energy. I'm not interested in you being able to get that power. I'm going to absorb you and hold all the Omni marks. Yoruma would move with great speed against Goku. As great as his speed was, this time he wasn't able to do anything against him, and his aura was starting to attack him. Goku would dodge each and every one of his blows. Goku has the Ultra Instinct in all its splendor, and even though the power of the Omni Instinct, it should be difficult for him to dodge those blows. Is that the power of the Omni marks? I don't even know he's able to get that power. I agree with you, my lord, since Goku was knocked out of combat a few days. After he tried to master that state, I don't know what point he was able to master it at this level. The only thing I could say is that Goku's a prodigy, and mastering the divine energy is complex. The Ultra Instinct has no god to manage to master it. I don't even want to imagine how complex it is to master the Omni marks, and Goku achieved it. So the difference in powers is abysmal. On that occasion, I'll defeat him. And thanks to that fact, we are not able to reach the maximum splendor of a warrior. Akumo has no reason to feel this way. After all, it's been the most powerful warrior of the multiverse for millions of years. Zeno-Sama, his combat form, couldn't defeat him despite having the Omni brand. I don't feel humiliated, Daishinkan. If anything, I feel pride. I know that one of my descendants has managed to reach this level. The most chaotic battle in the entire multiverse began. The gods, along with the angels, were in the atmosphere of the planet, using their max powers to seal the planet completely, with the intention that the battle doesn't spread to the other universes. The warriors dealt extremely powerful blows, with each having the power to destroy a universe, and the barrier that the gods and angels made began to crack.
Daishinkan, I want you to support the barriers of the angels. Because of their power, they're not able to endure for long, and we can't allow this to spread to the 12 universes.
Of course, my lord, as you order. Daishinkan with great speed would reach one of the angels, beginning to channel a large part of his power, which was able to keep the barrier on constant balance. Zeno-Sama and Akumo continued to observe the battle, which the clear winner could not be seen, because it was very even. Second by second, Goku would put more pressure on Yoruma, and Yoruma was falling to Goku's game. Because Goku continued his max power, and Yoruma's power decreased. Despite having large reserves, they were not unlimited. Goku, dodging his blows, would hold his leg and make him crash to the base of the planet, while Goku began to slowly approach the crater generated.
You're powerful, but it's the only thing you possess. I'm sure that for you and Akumo have the same power, and Akumo would be able to sweep the floor with you, since his experience on the battlefield's better than yours.
You comparing me to that miserable man from Akumo? Don't say stupid things, you mortal. The best times I'm a memorable god of the highest rank. Don't compare me to a mortal like Akumo.
I don't care who you've been. You're not able to do anything. And even now, I know that you're trying to trap me with your aura. But try, because I completely trust my aura, and I'll repel it completely.
Yoruma, annoyed, would try to absorb Goku with his aura, and that aura, surrounded by Goku's body, was silver, rising over the place, and his aura of Yoruma would completely explode due to Goku's energy. Me, as an ancient god, I have multiple techniques, and to your bad luck, this place, there are several important warriors for you to have happened to form a part of my power.
Damn, the battle between you and me, I won't let you do anything to them.
It's not a simple game. Everything is allowed on the battlefield. I want you to observe and tell me what you will be able to do now. Supreme Divine Rapture. A great pentagram would be formed all over the place. The power of the angels, gods, Zeno-Sama, and Akumo would be part of Yoruma's power. And this incredible aura would rise over the place, while the planet where they were would continue to explode, due to the excess energy that Yoruma's body was releasing.
That bastard! He absorbed the power of my friends! Apparently it's his only power since their body is still in the barrier to form in the last minute. In that case, he hasn't done it. They would have died.
I admit that I feel very irritated for having a divine rapture in this multiverse. I am able to defeat you, and I plan to absorb you. Even your bones would be part of me.
That only confirms my doubts. You really don't know how to fight, since an experienced warrior would have absorbed the power of the warriors present, since that load on his body would be madness before sacrificing speed.
Don't say stupid things. A god of the highest rank can't suffer such side effects. I plan to prove it to you right now, you miserable bug. Yoruma would try to pounce against Goku, who had noticed his body had become heavier, and it seemed he weighed 1,000 tons. Because of this, Goku would take advantage of the god's carelessness, connecting a blow to his face, making him fall, and Goku would descend to that place.
I warned you, don't listen. The power you have exceeds the power of your body controlling it. For that reason, you become slower.
No, damn. This can't be happening. I'm an elite warrior of Universe 1. I can't end up in these pathetic places.
I think it's time to end you. You won't be able to do anything with that power, and it'll reverse the technique. You don't have the required power to face me. No matter your decisions, you will die.
Yoruma, who has never experienced terror in his life, would feel it in his body. His pride would continue with his battle. However, he had no chance against Goku because Goku would put his hands on his forehead.
I gotta confess, I'm surprised you didn't try to run and beg for your life. That's admirable. It's a pity I've decided to put an end to this combat.
Goku, with a great attack in the palm of his hands, would make a great spiral formed over the place. Instantly, in the same way, a great explosion would be generated. Goku would end Yoruma. Being exiled from Universe 1, Goku would see how all the beings of divine energy could not recover their energy. Goku, releasing more power, would manage to transmit a little of his energy to all the divine beings, and thanks to this, they could stand again. That was dangerous. I didn't know that this guy had such a technique, but it was not enough to defeat Goku. He'll be named as the supreme god of the multiverse. He is a being that could surpass the power of Zeno-Sama.
I agree. Goku will be the protector of the whole multiverse, and it'll be a great honor, since I've seen him grow up as a child, and seeing how he could overcome me fills me with pride.
Zeno-Sama, Daishinkan-sama, if you allow me, I'll be part of the Divine Kingdom. Being one of the Guardians or Protector, I really liked how there are more powerful warriors in the other multiverse, and I promise to give my life for the being of the entire multiverse.
Of course, Akumo. Don't worry. The more powerful beings our multiverse will grow in power. There's no problem whatsoever. In that case, we should leave for Zeno-Sama's palace. Gods and angels, I thank you for your help. You can retire to your universes. All the gods together with their angels would leave for their universes, and other beings of the palace Zeno-Sama with the intention of naming Goku the new supreme god, as well as Akumo as the new multiverse protector. In the confines of another multiverse, a beautiful demon queen of her entire multiverse was able to see everything that happened. Well, well, I did not expect Yoruma, the most powerful warriors of Ryoma-sama, to be defeated by a warrior of the multiverse of Zeno-Sama, which is considered the weakest of all. I have to talk to that warrior. I want him for myself. The Queen Towa would stand up, releasing great pressure through her palace as well as the underworld, because the goddess Towa came from the hells of her multiverse, and it seems strange to her a being with absolute goodness in his heart could achieve the Omni marks. I don't understand how a being without evil at all was able to reach those levels, but since this path of power, there's always evil. Greed. I have to go to the palace of Zen, and I don't want to know how to do it. In the multiverse of Zeno-Sama, all 12 universes were calm, and the gods would be forced to rigorous training, otherwise they'd be dismissed from their posts. And they were of maximum authority of their universes, and if there was a possibility of a new powerful warrior, then their god and angel appeared. Akumo was in charge of eradicating him. I thought that the extinction of the original race of the Saiyans, I would never have this company again. And even his family and everything I owe to you, Goku. You got nothing to be grateful for, because thanks to you, I was able to weaken the true power of the Omni God Saiyan. I'm surprised there are more multiverses, that if I didn't expect it, in those universes there must also be very powerful warriors.
I agree. I'm even curious on how powerful those warriors are, but only a certified being can cross the multiversal barrier.
That's right. It's a pity that Zeno-Sama's multiverse is the weakest. It doesn't have the certificate to travel between multiverses.
A large portal would form around them, leaving Goku and Akumo surprised by the perceived power the silhouette of a beautiful woman could be observed. Don't worry, I am here. I have the certification to travel between multiverses. I wanted to meet you, Goku, the mortal who became the supreme god.
In the dark skies of Thraxis Nocturne, the stage was transformed into a cosmic battlefield, where divine light and malevolent darkness collided in an epic confrontation. Awamo and Ewin, the guardians of this planet, displayed their celestial power with a grace and precision that defied description. The glow of the purifying light emanating from Ewin and Awamo spread across the space, illuminating the shadows that the shadow creature was trying to grasp. Ewin and Awamo's every move was a ballet of divine energy, as they gracefully dodged the dark attacks encountered with unstoppable force. Awamo's wings shone with a resplendent light, like stars in the night, as he invoked the very essence of creation to repel the dark forces rising up against him. By his side, Ewin radiated an imposing presence, with his penetrating gaze fixed on the creature as it defying the darkness itself. The shadow creature, on the other hand, was fighting with an impressive ferocity, trying to resist the overwhelming power of Ewin and Awamo. Their dark attacks were launched like ravenous shadows, seeking to consume the divine light that surrounded them. However, every attack was countered by the impenetrable force of Ewin and Awamo, who remained firm in their purpose to protect the planet. The clash between light and darkness created a symphony of cosmic energy, with flashes of light and bursts of energy illuminating the firmament. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Your power is formidable, but it cannot resist the purity of creation.
You can't stop me. I'm the very embodiment of darkness.
Darkness can be powerful, but the real strength lies in balance, and we represent that balance. Iwan and Owamo continued to deploy their energy with amazing precision, creating light barriers that repelled the attacks of the shadow creature. Every movement of Iwan and Owamo was imbued with a divine elegance and grace, while the creature struggled with a desperate ferocity. Our mission is to protect the harmony of the universe, and that includes protecting this planet from your darkness. You can't stop me. I'm inevitable. The shadow creature launched waves of dark energy, but Iwan and Owamo easily repelled them, maintaining an opposing presence in the midst of battle. Every blow of Iwan and Owamo resonated with the force of creation, while the creature struggled more and more desperately. The darkness can be a challenge, but our determination's unwavering. We'll not let you destroy this planet. Your power may be formidable, but it cannot equal the eternal light of the universe. The battle continued with Iwan and Owamo and the shadow creature facing off in an epic clash between light and dark. In the midst of the struggle, Father Zeno silently watched from his kingdom, perceived the magnitude of the conflict. With an imperceptible gesture, he decided to intervene, taking Iwan and Owamo to a mental plane where they could confront the shadow creature in a terrain beyond the physical. In a flash of dazzling light, Owamo and Iwan were transported to an ethereal realm, where the laws of the universe twisted and blurred. Where are we, Iwan? We have entered the realm of the mind, a place where reality is molded according to the will of the observer. Here the real battle be fought in the deepest corners of our being. While Owamo and Iwan were transported to a mental plane by Father Zeno, the shadow creature continued its fierce assault against the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and Cooler, the most powerful warriors on the planet, rose up against the darkness that threatened to consume their home. The shadow creature, imbued with a dark and malevolent aura, hovered over them with an overwhelming presence. He distorted his energy, enveloping everything around him, tearing reality itself apart, and threatening to plunge the planet into an abyss of chaos. We won't let you destroy our home, shadow monster! We, the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, are not afraid of the dark. We have faced much greater dangers than you, creature! We will fight together to protect our world. The shadow creature launched a powerful dark attack towards the warriors, but they responded with relentless ferocity. Turles, his eyes shining with determination, unleashed a shower of destructive energy, summoning the very essence of nature to channel it in a torrent of energetic attacks. Their powerful attacks cut through the darkness with devastating precision, creating dazzling explosions that lit up the planet's night sky. Bardock, with his fiery ki and indomitable spirit, channeled his energy into a powerful attack. His fists were burning with a searing intensity as he launched a concentrated burst of energy towards the shadow creature, challenging its strength with its own. Bardock's attack resonated with the determination of an invincible warrior, willing to give everything for the protection of his world. Raditz and Cooler, united in battle, joined in a coordinated assault on the shadow creature. With fluid and coordinated movements, they launched bursts of energy from different angles, creating a barrier of attacks that surrounded their enemy. The shadow creature struggled to defend itself against the combined onslaught of the two powerful warriors, but its resistance was challenged by the determination and skill of Raditz and Cooler. Meanwhile, Frieza, with his golden form glowing with a golden aura, was preparing to unleash his full power against the shadow creature. His eyes shone with a cold and calculated determination as he focused his energy on a devastating attack. With a graceful and precise movement, Frieza unleashed a burst of golden energy that swirled with unparalleled destructive power, threatening to envelop the shadow creature in a mantle of fire and destruction. The battle escalated as the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne bravely faced the darkness that threatened their world. Every blow, every burst of energy echoed through space, creating a spectacle of destruction and determination. Meanwhile, on the mental plane, Owamo and Iwan were engaged in a metaphysical struggle against Father Zeno, an omnipotent entity whose presence radiated an aura of indescribable power. Iwan and Owamo, aware of the gravity of the situation, desperately sought the intervention of Father Zeno to counter the threat of the shadow creature. However, to their surprise, Father Zeno solemnly informed them that they could not intervene directly, since the balance of the universe had to be kept intact even in times of crisis. Owamo and Iwan, although unhappy with Father Zeno's decision, understood the importance of respecting the laws of the cosmos. With determination, they plunged even deeper into the metaphysical struggle, using all their ingenuity and power to find a solution to the crisis unfolding in Thraxis Nocturne. As a confrontation on the mental plane reached its climax, Awamo and Ewin found themselves face to face with the imposing Father Zeno. His figure radiated an indisputable authority, but also an aura of mystery that aroused restlessness in the Ewin and Awamo. Awamo, with his usual serenity, broke the tense silence that filled the ethereal space. "Father Zeno," he began in a firm but respectful tone, "could it be you that... Were you the one who sent the shadow creatures to destroy the planets?" Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, nodded slowly. "I did it for the good of the universe," he replied calmly. Although his voice resonated with a power that shook Ewin and Awamo, sometimes drastic measures must be taken to preserve the cosmic balance. Ewin, with a flash of indignation in his eyes, could not contain himself anymore. "But that doesn't justify the chaos and destruction you've unleashed!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing with unshakable determination. "There are other ways to restore balance without resorting to violence and darkness." Father Zeno observed the god of destruction and his angel with a penetrating gaze, as if he were evaluating their words and their posture. "Your compassion is admirable, but sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice a few pieces to save the entire board," he said in an enigmatic tone. Awamo and Ewin exchanged determined glances. Although they respected Father Zeno's authority, they knew that they had to follow their own principles and convictions. With courage, they prepared to challenge the omnipotent being in front of them, willing to fight for what they believed was right, even if it meant facing the divinity itself. The air on the mental plane was charged with tension, as Awamo and Ewin prepared to face Father Zeno. Their divine auras collided in a show of titanic forces, as Ewin and Awamo prepared to challenge the supreme being in front of them. Awamo, with his heavenly book in hand, looked at Father Zeno with determination. "Father Zeno, although we respect your authority, we cannot allow you to continue with this destruction," he stated firmly. "We'll fight for peace and balance in the universe, even if it means standing up to you." Father Zeno, with an impenetrable calm, nodded in recognition. "Your courage is admirable, but you will not be able to stop me," he replied calmly. "The fate of the universe is in my hands, and I'll do whatever it takes to preserve its balance." Without further words, the battle began with a burst of divine energy. Awamo unleashed his celestial power, summoning rays of light that he threw against Father Zeno, while Ewin threw waves of energy with determination. However, Father Zeno showed impressive resilience, deflecting every attack with surprising ease. The fight went on for what seemed like an eternity, with Ewin and Awamo and Father Zeno trading punches and counterpunches in a cosmic dance of power and skill. Every movement was imbued with a supernatural force, while the mental plane trembled under the intensity of his conflict. However, as time passed, Awamo and Ewin began to feel the weight of their opponent. Father Zeno's power was overwhelming, and every blow Ewin and Awamo received weakened them even more. Despite their bravery and determination, it seemed that they were fighting against an impossible-to-defeat force. Awamo, panting from the effort, looked at his companion with concern. "Ewin, we can't go on like this," he admitted sincerely. "Father Zeno's too powerful for us." Ewin, though exhausted, nodded determinedly. "I know, Awamo, but we can't give up," he replied firmly. "We must keep fighting, for Thraxis Nocturne, and for all beings in the universe." With a final effort, Ewin and Awamo gathered their forces to launch a final attack against Father Zeno. However, the Supreme Being easily overcame them, deflecting his power with a contemptuous gesture. Father Zeno looked at Ewin and Awamo with a mixture of admiration and regret.
"They're brave, but their struggle has come to an end," he solemnly declared. "Accept your defeat and let fate take its course." With a resigned sigh, Awamo and Ewin surrendered to Father Zeno's overwhelming strength. Although they had fought with all their heart and soul, they knew that they could not defeat the Supreme Being in front of them. Father Zeno, with a compassionate look, looked at them benevolently. "Rest now, my brave creations," he said gently. "His bravery will be remembered throughout the universe." Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, extended his hand towards the exhausted Ewin and Awamo. In an instant, a powerful burst of cosmic energy emanated from his palm, enveloping Awamo and Ewin in a dazzling radiance.
Iwan and Awamo screamed in agony as Father Zeno's energy enveloped them, feeling every fiber of their being torn apart under the relentless power of the Supreme Being. Their bodies, imbued with divine light, were slowly consumed in the maelstrom of energy, fading little by little into the ether of the cosmos. Awamo and Iwan fought with all their might to resist the cataclysm that engulfed them, but it was useless. The power of Father Zeno surpassed them in every respect, and they were soon reduced to mere shadows of their former glory. With the last gasp, Awamo and Iwan exploded, leaving body parts all over the mental space, dissipating into cosmic nothingness while their essence merged with the universe. At that precise moment, we return to the earthly plane, where the fierce battle between the most powerful warriors of Thraxis Nocturne and the shadow creature was reaching its climax. Bursts of energy and thunderous crashes echoed in the air, while Bardock, in the middle of the combat, glimpsed Awamo and Iwan, who were lying unconscious on the ground, enveloped in a halo of divine light. Surprise and dismay were reflected on the faces of the warriors, who momentarily stopped their frantic struggle upon realizing the situation. Bardock, his eyes wide open, watched in horror as Iwan and Awamo's bodies began to shake, emanating flashes of energy that increased in intensity with each passing second. A tense silence enveloped the battlefield as everyone watched the scene in disbelief. Suddenly, a heart-rending explosion echoed in the air, making the earth and sky tremble. Bardock and the other warriors were thrown back by the force of the explosion, protecting themselves as best as they could from the shockwave that was spreading around them. When the afterglow of the explosion faded, what was left was a smoking crater where Awamo and Iwan once stood. The warriors slowly stood up, stunned by what they had just witnessed, as the shadow creature, now shrouded in an even denser darkness, prepared to lash out again before the protecting warriors of Thraxis Nocturne. Bardock clenched his fist determinedly, feeling a mixture of sadness and fury burn inside him. He knew that they must continue the fight, not only for the honor of their planet, but also in memory of the brave fallen guardians. With a war cry, the warriors rushed into combat again, determined to avenge the loss of their comrades and protect their home from the darkness that threatened to consume it. After the devastating explosion that killed Awamo and Iwan, the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne gathered in a circle, still stunned by what had happened. Bardock, with a gloomy look, broke the silence with a grave tone.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
Turles, frowning, shook his head in disbelief.
I don't know, but we can't let this sacrifice be in vain. We need to get this thing over with once and for all.
Raditz, with his fist clenched, furiously nodded determinedly.
You're right! Awamo and Iwan gave their lives to protect this planet. We cannot disappoint his sacrifice.
Frieza, with his usual impassive expression, spoke in a cold and calculated tone.
The death of Iwan and Awamo should not be in vain. We must unite and concentrate our efforts on defeating that shadow creature.
Cooler, with a serious look, added determinedly,
We are facing an unprecedented threat, but if we fight together, we can overcome it. Let's do it for the honor of Thraxis Nocturne, for the legacy of our brave comrades.
Bardock nodded solemnly, his jaw tense with determination.
So, are we in agreement? We'll fight together until the end and avenge our fallen.
The warriors nodded in agreement, sharing a look of determination and unity. With their hearts filled with determination, they prepared to face once again the darkness that threatened their home. As the warriors prepared to face the shadow creature again, a fierce determination burned in their hearts. Turles, feeling the energy of the battle, was the first to unleash his power.
It's time to show them our true power!
With a powerful scream, Turles wrapped himself in an aura of energy. Her dark hair turned golden and her eyes shone with a dazzling intensity. The energy of the Super Saiyan emanated from his being, infusing strength and determination into his entire being. Raditz, inspired by Turtle's example, followed suit.
It's my turn!
With a burst of energy, Raditz's dark hair bristled, turning golden just like his brother's. His ki increased dramatically, emanating a commanding presence that filled the battlefield. Seeing the transformation of his comrades, Bardock also joined the fray.
I can't stay behind!
With a battle cry, Bardock unleashed all his power. His fiery aura enveloped him in a higher golden glow. His energy increased to astronomical levels, propelling him towards a higher form of his race. Frieza, observing the transformation of the Saiyans, did not want to be left behind.
The time has come to show my true strength.
With a burst of energy, Frieza transformed into his golden form of maximum power similar to 100% full power, his body radiating a golden glow. His power multiplied several times, turning him into an unstoppable force that rivaled the sunlight itself. Cooler, feeling the energy surrounding him, decided to join the fight with all his might.
It's time to unleash my true potential.
With a flash of energy, Cooler transformed into his metallic form, his body glowing with a metallic luster. His stamina and power increased exponentially, making him an invincible force that would defy even the gods. With their transformations complete, the warriors of Thraxis and Nocturne once again faced the shadow creature with renewed determination and a power that eclipsed any darkness. In the skies of Thraxis Nocturne, the battle continued as the transformed warriors faced off against the shadow creature, a being whose dark power threatened to devour everything in its path. With each of the warriors unleashing their full potential, the cosmos trembled under the force of their epic showdown. The golden aura of Turles, Raditz, and Bardock, combined with the imposing presence of Frieza and Cooler in their transformed forms, formed a dazzling spectacle in the night sky. Energy flickered around them, lighting up the darkness with golden and silver flashes as they prepared for the final showdown. The shadow creature, sensing his power of his adversaries, emanated a rumbling roar that echoed through the planet. His dark form seemed to twist and distort as he prepared for the final assault.
It's time to end this once and for all!
With a battle cry, Turles lunged forward. His speed increased by his Super Saiyan form. The shadow creature responded with an onslaught of dark energy, but Turles nimbly dodged it, moving with astonishing speed across the battlefield. Raditz and Bardock followed Turles' lead, attacking with relentless ferocity. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature's attacks were swift and fierce, but the Saiyans deftly dodged them, responding with even more powerful blows.
Father, let's keep the pressure on this thing. We can't let it destroy our home.
I know. We're not going to allow this monster to destroy Thraxis Nocturne. Our power is more than enough to end it.
That's right. You taught us to fight with courage and determination. We'll not back down before this creature is destroyed.
Take this!
The shadow creature dodged Bardock's attack with agility, launching its counterattack with its sharp claws.
Careful, Father.
Don't worry about me. I'm more than ready for this.
And take this too.
Raditz's attacks hit the shadow creature hard, but it quickly recovered and counterattacked with a surge of dark energy.
Damn, this thing's tougher than I thought.
We can't give up now. Our planet depends on us.
You're right. Let's show you what we're capable of.
The two Saiyans launched into the air attack once more with renewed determination. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature, although resistant, was overcome by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Turles, with his golden hair flowing behind him, launched a quick series of precise punches, each one carrying with it the power of his transformation into Super Saiyan. His movements were fluid and graceful, as if he were dancing around his enemy, dodging every attack with impressive agility.
There's no escape for you, monster! Your darkness can't compete with the power of the Super Saiyan!
With a battle cry, Turles lashed out at the shadow creature, striking with overwhelming force. Every blow resounded in the air, shaking the battlefield with its power. The shadow creature was fighting desperately, but its attacks seemed weak compared to Turles' ferocity. Meanwhile, Raditz and Bardock were continuing their assault on the shadow creature. Their attacks were coordinated and precise, each complementing the other in a deadly dance of destruction. The shadow creature found itself increasingly cornered, unable to cope with the combined might of the Saiyans.
Come on, Father. We know we can stop this thing.
I know, Raditz. Let's keep pushing until there's nothing left of this creature.
With renewed determination, the two Saiyans redoubled their efforts, launching a series of devastating attacks against the shadow creature. Each blow echoed in the air, carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. Frieza and Cooler were watching the battle intently from a distance, their cold gazes evaluating every move of the Saiyans and the shadow creature. As the fight intensified, they noticed with increasing concern how the shadow creature began to gain more strength, releasing a dark energy that threatened to destabilize this situation.
It seems that the things are getting more complicated than I expected.
Yes, the shadow creature seems to be gaining ground. If we don't intervene soon, we could face an even more dangerous situation. With a cold determination, Frieza and Cooler exchanged a glance before heading towards the battlefield. His presence made itself felt immediately. His overbearing aura flooded the area as they prepared to face the shadow creature. Looks like we need to intervene before things get out of control. I agree. We cannot allow the shadow creature to wreak more havoc on our planet. With surprising speed, Frieza and Cooler launched into action, deploying all the power in an effort to contain the shadow creature. His attacks were precise and devastating, each blow carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home. However, the shadow creature was not going to be easily defeated. With a thunderous scream, he split into 4 separate beings, each one darker and more malevolent than the last. The earth trembled under their weight as they advanced towards the warriors, ready to unleash their fury on them. It seems that this creature has more tricks up its sleeve than we thought. It doesn't matter, we have our own tricks.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.